first. Coach. Then damn, I really wish I knew wish I could feel. I want to understand your definition and meaning of focus, deeper level than I do.
So I'm in the coach, and you want me to call people out on their shit. What does that mean?
More than people. Okay. So notch it down to people like us. Give me. It's just how that so organically popped up.
Exactly.
So let me get back to that. So we're having a conversation. I'm telling you that I want to do something, and also that I don't do it. And we discovered reasons why I don't do it, even though I say I want to do it.
Oh, right. You were drawing the distinction between athlete and artist.
Yeah. And all of the romanticism around what each of those mean.
Okay.
Like why I romantically want to be an athlete and romantically want to be an artist. Like a night out. Like if you were calling me out saying if you really wanted to do those things, you would do them. And we would take like just the first baby step to even do it. And you were asking like, why do I want that? Like what attracts me about that thing that I want? Yeah, I don't do it.
Okay. So what is we're bantering live right now. What is the context in which I'm meeting people like us? If you were to really slow down with me and realize that I'm live on the internet, I am the coach, but I do not know the context. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. The context in which the conversation that you are having with the audience or someone like us in the audience.
Right. There's a explosion.
Context. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
To me, like the context is talking directly to those of us that have this desire for greatness and what that looks like and the things that we want to build around that to greatnessing.
Okay.
To do, which we feel either one, it makes us feel better when we do them randomly.
Yes.
And we see that, we notice that.
Slow down.
But then there's this whole other side of us that prevents us or blocks us, or it's that alarm going off and hitting snooze. I can't tell you why.
Okay.
I do that when I want to get up at 5 a.m.
So we're kind of meeting at the place of you're gonna want to hear from the coach if you share in the desire for greatness out of yourself. If you do not care about your performance, your passion for greatness, you're not going to be here to listen to the coach. You're not going to have the attention span to listen to the coach. And
Yes.
what you've shared is this greatness vision sort of splits into a duality of comfort zone versus uncomfortable zone.
Yes.
Because if you're coming to listen to a coach, it's sort of like you are consenting to be called out on your shit.
Yeah.
And
even though it might hurt or be like,
right, even though it might hurt, you are consenting to being challenged, to being called out, versus if I do not have that level of engagement or consent, and I'm talking artist to artist, I am not going to call out that shit because I'm not being invited to listen or to be mean. Like, and that's kind of the dividing line here is if the desire for greatness is of up utmost importance, then you're going to show up and you're going to want a coach to pull it out of you no matter what. No matter what it means, no matter how uncomfortable it gets, no excuse can hold any value if that desire and vision for greatness is the most important thing in the world. Because you are saying that you wanted to be a part of the 5 a.m. club.
yes.
And I can tap into my own sensibilities, and that is not something that I want to do. And so my empathic side is like, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're telling me, if you're telling the coach that you see that waking up at 5 a.m. is an element, a structure, a routine of your greatness, then we're going to crack down any barriers, any obstructions, any excuses to experimenting with those, with that structure, with that routine. And so then you gave me the scientific data that says optimal, perfect sleep is 8 hours a night.
Or as I've discovered for me, it's around 8 hours a night.
Right. And so we hit a crossroads here of greatness versus comfort, insofar as it is uncomfortable not to get 8 hours of sleep in a night. It is really uncomfortable to set an alarm and get whatever amount that ends up being for that night or morning. And the coach is going to call that shit out. And ask, why does comfort have more of a priority than greatness?
Ouch. See, that hurts.
And that hurts. And that hurts.
Yeah.
Because it makes you question the givens. It makes you question the habits that don't align with the new, higher reach of what is a challenge to the old habits.
Yeah, it makes me question whether I truly want greatness, because if the black and white is, if I didn't, I must not actually want to be great or greatness if I choose comfort over greatness. If I can't quit choosing comfort over greatness. So am I like addicted to comfort over greatness?
Are you addicted to comfort over greatness? As a coach, I would say none of that shit matters. That's thinking.
Okay.
Why even entertain that? Why even look for labels about yourself that don't matter to the actual question of what do you actually want? What do you actually want?
I want greatness over comfort, but I
Right.
choose the comfort over greatness.
Right? So the athlete wants the greatness, and the artist wants some semblance of comfort. And so, what do we do to smash through the resistance and friction between these competing emotions? Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. I think I would ask the question too. What does greatness actually mean? What does greatness actually mean? When it really comes down to what it symbolizes for your passion.
What does greatness mean when it symbolizes my passion for my passion?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It means being the best that I can be, being the most passionate that I can be, reaching my full potential.
Given some data that says that you're currently not.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And reaching your full potential, best performance, why does that even matter? Who does that even matter to? Let's get to the mechanics here. Let's
Yeah, I can
understand
see that.
let's understand the fundamentals.
I can see that, like on a personal level, like the person, the identity, the ego wants that, but then and all of that is true and correct. I can feel that. But on the other side of that is soul, like soul yearning, soul longing, soul wanting.
What does soul mean here?
Like deeply embedded in my heart, like in my heart.
So you're saying the call to greatness is a desire of the soul and the heart.
Yeah,
How big is that?
within the human experience.
Within the
Because
within the human experience.
soul is already everything, but there is a yearning to bring out like my full human potential, calling, and yeah, the desire of my heart to experience.
How big is that? To experience the potential of the human experience.
I can't even imagine the vastness of it. For me, I feel it more in the depth, and it's the depth is. I can't even explain the depth either. It's like an ocean of desire, the deepest ocean of desire.
Is how big this is?
Yeah.
So take that in for a second. Just realize how big the soul's yearning for greatness and the highest potential out of your human experience. Because the vision of this, if it truly is this vast, as in nothing is bigger than this, is what you're kind of saying. The scope, the fire, the call, the passion. Is it truly connected to your soul?
I wouldn't know how else to describe it.
Is it truly connected to your soul? Hmm.
I mean, is it? Is it? That's a good question. Is it? When something feels soul level or heart yearning deep, is it truly connected to your soul?
Is it truly connected to your soul? And what does greatness mean if that's the case?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm thinking. Feeling. I need to feel.
Mm-hmm. when I tap into the DNA, the unstoppable force that is the most raw, uninhibited force of passion that is focused and directed towards greatness, it's almost like it's its own solar system that completely ignores the current one because it changes the orbit of which planet you're traveling to. And I think that that's what causes the most resistance in performers, athletes, professional artists, because it is a challenge to the sensibilities that would otherwise defend pleasure from pain. Everything that we're wired with in survival of the fittest and the old operating system of the human species is go towards pleasure and away from pain. And that is the wiring that keeps us attracted to the value of comfort, to the attraction of comfort, because that means we're doing our purpose. We're staying in pleasure and avoiding pain. We are surviving that way. If it's the opposite, we are fighting or fleeing the situation, because if it's turned, pain equals death at the end of the day, at the hyperbolic end of the day, is what we're talking about. But, and this is why it's greatness is sort of rarefied air, because you have to go against the grain of normal. You have to go against the grain of value system, the old solar system that repels pain and attracts pleasure to survive. Because to go to the opposite or alternate solar system, you kind of have to welcome uncomfortable. You have to welcome pain with open arms as an opportunity to get better. And the challenge that a lot of people have is they set these expectations that are much broader than they need to be, almost like a way to prove it against themselves. Oh, see, I tried this and I failed. I guess I must not be great. But if there is a piece of advice to deliver today, it's to break it down into baby steps of experiments. So if you see a vision and a path and traversal of your greatness is waking up at 5 a.m., then you have to be willing to see that at first it's not going to be pleasurable. It's not going to be pleasurable. But if the alignment of this solar system of your greatness is saying, to get to that next planet, that next level, I need to set the trajectory this way, and I'm getting an intuitive hit. It's something is speaking to me, the saying 5 a.m. is the way to get a next level of performance out of myself. It goes back to, okay, how big is this? How big is the vision of greatness? How vast are you saying that this calling is? Because if you're not seeing that, if you're not feeling that at the soul level, then the planet of mind and comfort will still be bigger than somehow this vastness in relativity. That's what you're saying. This huge vastness of greatness that you're saying is an ocean, that is soul, is larger than life, then how big are you making the comfort zone, the mind, the excuses, the resistance, the all the things that get in the way of that? How big are you making that then in relativity? Because if it was accurate, nothing would be anywhere close to this calling over here, which would then invite the experiment, the setting the alarm, the step along the way of uncomfortability to try it, to take the sting, get through it, survive, realize that it's not death, it's not the be all end all of anything. One at a time, one day at a time, and you will have proven to yourself that the greatness is more vast than the human mind. Which planet is bigger? Which solar system is the best? Because when you're choosing comfort, you're choosing the older system. You're choosing to stay in that zone. That zone has more value. That zone has more soul, is what that's communicating, or fear. But to truly follow the soul there and what this greatness symbolizes, then it's a rivalry of choice, a rivalry of freedom, a rivalry of soul versus survival. Which one's going to win out? Because it's not going to be undefeated either way, but it comes down to a choice between, in each little baby step that adds up only when you look back. But these little baby steps of who wins, solar survival, that's the crux of why the greats go through the pain. Because there's a higher value system, a higher solar system at play. Yes.
Because I hear this and you got me fired up and also in my feelings. And it feels like the solar systems are like, one is of confidence and the other is of self-doubt. And the self-doubt is winning. But then I watch these videos of the greats, and then it's like they always are they seem very confident that they can do this. Like they have this level of confidence about them,
Mm-hmm.
and so it has me question like, well then, do I truly have this greatness in me if I lack this confidence and this self-doubt is winning over
That's the wrong question.
we discovered the right question.
The right question is, why does self-doubt have so much value? What are you trying to survive? The self-doubt is survival.
I guess why is it there if this other side is there as well? If the confidence is on one side and the self-doubt is on the other, why is the self-doubt surviving? Why is it taking more energy or more bandwidth than?
Because it's a habit.
Than the confidence.
It's old wiring. It's old programming. It's old survival of the fittest surviving, protecting something.
Yeah. In my case, it feels like it's almost using the greatness as a punishment against me.
Of course, to survive. To keep you from changing the value system.
And then I know from experience and also reading other books and applying that, trying to apply that wisdom of the more things that like you're saying, one thing at a time, one step at a time, day one, the more you do that, the confidence builds, the less the self-doubt. So it's trying to crush the doing of any of that to even build the confidence to get away from the self-doubt. I see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that spirals into just letting the self-doubt be the operating system.
Mm-hmm. Self-doubt is just intelligent fear.
Okay.
The child scared of something.
When you said to me earlier, something along the lines of, probably mess this up, but something along the lines of, if you really wanted to be in the 5 a.m. club, you would set your alarm and you would get up uncomfortably, not hit the snooze button, and you would do it even though it was not comfortable.
And painful.
And painful. So I needed to choose or really look at, because there's no right or wrong in this for me. I can be a 5 a.m. or not.
Mm-hmm.
Either one is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm saying that I want to do that because I'm saying that I enjoy structure or something about structure, there's something enjoyable about structure that I would like to discover more, then I just need to do it.
Exactly.
And that if I wasn't doing it, it meant that I was wanting my comfort more than I was wanting my structure.
Right. And put those into universal terms. You're wanting what versus soul?
Fear. I'm saying that I would be choosing fear over soul.
Just take that in. Choosing fear over soul.
Oh, that's so
look at the relativity of sizes there. On one hand, you're saying this soul is vaster than fast, an ocean of passion, larger than life, and somehow fear is winning that battle.
I am saying that.
Why does fear win the battle against soul?
Because the self-doubt is louder than the confidence.
Because the fear is louder than what?
Don't make me say it.
Well, we
Does
got
that
some
mean
viewers
that-
too, so they can say it as well if they want.
Does that mean that the fear is louder than the passion?
Bingo. Or love.
I don't like that. I don't want that to be my truth.
Every opportunity is a new wrestling match then to see who the victor actually is. It's not hard-coded. It's not concrete. And it's not about perfection either. Because in each moment of an opportunity or a match is to change the narrative, to go with the truth.
When you put that in wrestling terms of each, like you don't win every wrestling match. Like you hope to,
Right.
but you don't win every match.
Exactly.
Just because you don't win every match doesn't mean that you're not a wrestler.
Exactly.
Or a winner or haven't been a winner.
Mm-hmm.
So if I couple that with day one, only day I'm in, only day that exists, and having that match, then that does help lessen the perfectionism that is definitely present when it's a long-term
Long game. Yeah.
Long game, yeah.
Exactly. Because when you actually have the reflection clear, fear versus love or fear versus passion, because the fear is passion too, it's just dirty, it's less performance, right? But fear versus love or self-doubt versus soul, however you want to frame it, so that you can see the chess pieces here, the pieces, the title card, where they put the wrestlers up versus, like, to see what the versus is, then allows you to feel the scope of what each represent for a new choice, for a new opportunity of a choice. Soul over self-doubt.
And the power of each one.
Exactly.
Whether like made up or real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to understand the tricks that the fear uses to make it to win.
Yeah.
The fear or the unconscious, where there's not the awareness of soul in the moment, where you forget. All right. On that, this has been a message from the coach. And if you have any questions, please put them down so that I can respond. Get after it. Go for greatness. You got it.